Hello there everyone, it's Aaron here from Push Square. So, PlayStation Plus, it's been out a couple of weeks in most places around the world, giving you plenty of time to familiarise yourselves with the library of games and maybe how much of your money it is worth. However, it's also given us plenty of time to have a bunch of questions about it. Admittedly, Sony haven't done the best job at clarifying a lot of the specific details about this service, some of the things that maybe have us worried, we're wondering if we can do, all of these sort of things. But that is the very purpose of this exact video. So over the last couple of weeks, I've been looking through the comments on all of our PS Plus videos to single out the most asked questions, the most commonly asked questions. And then I actually reached out to you guys as well, and you kindly sent in some questions as well. And I've narrowed all of that down to 12 questions about PS Plus now. Some of those are sort of overlapping in a sense, some of them are just yes and no questions, yes and no answers, and some of them are a little bit more detailed, but I'm going to try and get through them as quickly as I can so you can just get back to playing games or decide whether you're going to get the service, get rid of it, whatever you need to know the answer of these questions for. So first up, and our most commonly asked question is, if you already have PS Plus, are you going to have to pay extra? Are you going to have to change anything? The answer is no. Your common basic PS Plus is just going to be transferred or rebranded in a sense to PS Plus Essential, but it's got the same price and the same perks, so you don't have to do anything. It's already been converted, so there's nothing to do there. PS Plus is still just PS Plus. But if you do decide to upgrade to Extra or Premium, are you having to pay monthly or can you pay yearly, vice versa? The answer is yes to both. You can pay monthly or you can pay yearly. The only caveat to that is if you're upgrading with an already existing PS Plus subscription, but we'll get into that a little later with one of the later questions. So this is sort of a two-parter question here. Can you keep the games after they've either left the service or you have downgraded from that tier? No, you can. If you leave a tier, you're leaving behind all of the perks that come with it. So if you have Extra, you download 8 games from it, you then downgrade to Essential, you don't have access to them. They'll still appear on your PlayStation, they'll still take up your hard drive space, but they'll be locked apps. And the same goes for if the game is removed from the service. We all know that games do leave from time to time, so if it does leave the service and you have it downloaded, you'll no longer be able to access it. You'll then have to buy it if you want to keep playing. So someone has been asking, can you just add the games to your collection? Just select that icon like you do every month for PS Plus, and sadly, no, it's not quite the same. It doesn't work like that. You either have to download the games fully to have them accessible through your PlayStation homepage or your library, or you have to go through the PS Store. So those are the only two ways. You can't just add it to your library and go from there. Quite a common question actually, one I was a little surprised with, is whether if you upgrade to Extra or Premium, does it include the perks of the tiers that come before it? And yes, that is absolutely the case. Every tier stacks upon the last. So if you get Extra, you have the perks for Extra and Essential, and if you get Premium, you have the perks for Premium, Extra and Essential. They're always stacking, so you get all the perks as you go up the ladder. Will PlayStation 3 games ever be downloadable? Sadly, it doesn't look like that will be the case, at least not at this point. I'm not going to pretend I understand why, but PlayStation 3 games and their architecture just aren't compatible with PS4 or 5, so they can only be accessed via streaming. It's not to say that Sony won't figure it all out at one point, but for the foreseeable future, you'll be streaming your PS3 games. So if you get PlayStation Plus Extra on a PS4, can you play the PS5 games that are included with the service? No, you can't do that. If you don't have the subscription or you don't want to keep paying it, can you individually buy the PS1, 2 or 3 games? This is a yes and a no. PlayStation 1 and 2 games are actually purchasable. You can get them for around £10 to £20. That's around $10 to $20 as well. Obviously it varies from game to game, but you can purchase those ones, so you just permanently have them even if you don't have PS Plus. However, PS3 games, because of the whole streaming thing, they're only accessible via PS Plus. So a very, very big worry for a lot of people out there is how quickly the games are going to cycle in and out of the service. So we know that games are going to leave every month, as are games going to be added every month, but how quickly can we expect it? And it's a really difficult question to answer because it varies from game to game. But there are a couple of ways to keep track of all this. Sony actually added a last chance to play section, which will show you the games that are sort of imminently leaving, or just, I think it's like the month of. So you'll get at least a few weeks notice there. As we can see from the last chance to play section right now, we have Shadow Warrior 3 and another game, so those games will be leaving, and when you go onto those games as well, it will specifically tell you the date that they're leaving. However, players have also noticed that some games have their leaving date months in advance. This is the case for Red Dead Redemption 2, which is leaving in September. So keep an eye out when you're going through the games, when you're downloading stuff. See if it has that little leaving date just below the title or above the downloads selection. It will let you know there if there has been a date selected, but obviously it varies. It's all to do with licensing. And if we compare it to Xbox Game Pass, typically there's about a 2-week warning for games that are going to leave, but you can see a lot of the big titles tend to stay around for quite a while. And that brings me on to the exclusives. PlayStation Plus exclusives like Demon's Souls, Death Stranding, Ghost of Tsushima. Are they there forever, or are they going to be cycled out as well? I'd expect these to be the long haul games, the games that are there for quite a while. I'd expect the majority of this year, if not longer, as this is the very start of the service and they are a big selling point. However, they will potentially leave at some point. PlayStation Now, before it merged into this, had exclusives come and go, so I think it's fair to assume that at some point we will see stuff like this, because obviously not every exclusive is on the service. We don't see Horizon Forbidden West there or anything like that. So again, keep an eye on that last chance to play section, keep an eye on those dates when you're downloading stuff, and hopefully you won't be caught off guard there. So I've actually seen a couple of people complaining about this. I haven't come into this issue personally, but why do you have to log into PlayStation Plus once a week to keep access to your games through the subscription? And it's a really simple answer. This is really just a security feature for Sony so that they can stop players from downloading all of the games on the last day of their subscription, unplugging the internet, and then just keeping them all indefinitely. This way it means that you have to re-authenticate that your subscription is still active. So if you don't log into the internet for more than a week, your games will become locked apps on the homepage, and you just log into your PSN, come online for a little bit, and it'll go, yeah, this guy's still paying for his PS Plus, and you get to play them again. That's all it is. So another biggie here we have is the ability to upgrade and downgrade. Is it possible? Do you get refunds? Do you have to pay the difference or a full amount? All of that sort of stuff. So it's actually really easy to upgrade and downgrade. You do it all through the PlayStation Store on the PlayStation. Just go onto the store, click the 3 dots in the corner, then go to subscriptions, PS Plus, change plan. Here you can select which tier you want to go onto, whether that's a downgrade or an upgrade. If it's an upgrade, you're going to have to pay the difference, whether that be £4 or £6 a month or whatever. You have to pay the difference in the subscription prices. However, a caveat to that is that if you have an active running PlayStation Plus subscription already, let's say you have 9 months left, you're going to have to pay for 9 months of the upgraded tier in one go to get that. You can't pay for just a month to go up and then down. You can't just do it for half of the time or anything like that. It has to be the full amount of time that you have left. So this can be quite costly for a lot of people. I think it's a little bit of an unfair approach for a lot of people who like to maybe buy or stack up in their subscriptions when they're cheap. So this might not work out for a lot of people. Downgrading is just as easy, as I said, just select it. However, there's no refunds here. You're going to have to stay on the tier for as long as you've paid for it, and then it will go down to the whatever one you've selected after that. So there's no refunds, and you're just going to have to stick with that tier for as long as you've paid for it. And that's it for all of the hottest, most frequently asked questions about PlayStation Plus. Of course, if you have any other burning questions, let me know down in the comments below. I tend to go through the comments quite a bit, so if you have a serious question, I'll answer that as best as I can. But anyway guys, thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more PlayStation based content like this, or gameplay, or reviews, or let's plays, anything like that, stick right here with Push Square. Maybe throw us a wee subscription, that would be great. But anyway guys, I'll see you next time. Bye.